Coming up, officials continue to make progress in their investigation into the submersible that imploded near the Titanic last week. Why the discovery of human remains is key to finding answers. And the artificial sweetener found in your diet sodas could soon be labeled as a potential cancer risk. The latest research from the World Health Organization. The rundown starts now. This is Straight Arrow News, bringing you unbiased, straight facts. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kara Rucker. The Coast Guard announced Wednesday that human remains have likely been recovered from the submersible that captured the world's attention when it imploded underwater last week. You're taking a look at some of the debris from the Titan submarine that was collected from the seafloor and brought to Canada. According to the Coast Guard, the presumed human remains will be brought to the U.S., where medical professionals will conduct a formal analysis. This is vital to figuring out exactly why the submersible imploded. The debris was discovered over 12,000 feet underwater and about 1,600 feet away from the Titanic wreckage site the submersible was attempting to reach. There is now a crowded field of GOP hopefuls looking to win the presidential election in 2024, but there is one candidate that has continued to lead the others. According to the latest Associated Press poll, former President Donald Trump is still favored by the majority of Republicans, although support has slipped in recent months since his legal woes. 60% of Republicans have a favorable view of Trump. 38% say they are not in favor of the former president running again. These numbers have changed slightly since April, when 68% of Republicans polled were in favor of Trump and 30% disapproved of a second campaign. Those numbers are from Republicans polled. But overall, 63% of Americans have an unfavorable view of Trump. The timing of the dip in polling suggests that some Republicans could have changed their stance on their party's leading candidate after he became the first former president to be indicted on federal criminal charges. We are already less than 2 months away from the first Republican primary debate. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell has hinted again toward multiple interest rate hikes in the near future, with most policymakers predicting at least 2 rate hikes still to come this year. June was the first month in 11 months the Federal Reserve left the interest rate alone, but the pause on rate hikes could very well be short-lived. The Fed has a target goal of a 2% inflation rate. May consumer price inflation was at 4% year over year.
I don't see us getting back to 2% this year or next year.
You don't?
No. I see us making progress, steady progress on, this is core inflation. Yep. Headline inflation is coming down now, it's lower than core. But for core inflation, I don't see us getting to 2% this year or next year. I see us getting there the year after.
2025?
Yeah.
Core inflation 2%. So you're going to be restrictive for a long time.
No, we will be restrictive as long as we need to be.
An Amtrak train carrying nearly 200 passengers derailed in Southern California on Wednesday after the train collided with a county water truck. The driver of the truck was critically injured and transported to a trauma center. 16 passengers are reported to be injured, but no serious injuries were reported. Of the train's 7 cars, 3 of them came off the tracks but stayed upright.
When we initially got dispatched to a train derailment, we think of the trains on the side and severe injuries. In this case, we're very fortunate that the cars did not technically, roll over or go sideways, and I think that really reduced the impact to the passengers for injuries.
It's unknown why the county truck was parked on the tracks. An investigation is ongoing. North Carolina lawmakers tweaked the state's new abortion ban a day before a judge was to review whether the law can go in effect on July 1st or whether it could be held off until legal challenges play out in court. The judge has said she will allow the 12-week abortion ban to go in effect, which is now just days away. Planned Parenthood and a physician sued the state to try and stop the ban from taking place. But while their cases play out in court, a judge has ruled the state's abortion ban can go into effect. The judge is still reviewing whether to place a temporary restraining order on other portions of the state's law. In health news, one of the world's most common artificial sweeteners is set to be declared a potential cancer risk by the World Health Organization. Aspartame is an artificial sweetener found in diet sodas, Snapple drinks, certain chewing gum, ice cream, cereals, and a number of other sugar-free food products. The WHO is expected to deem this sweetener a possible carcinogen, labeling it as a cancer risk. However, the Cancer Research Agency stated a person would have to drink a 12-pack of diet soda daily to be at risk. These are your top stories. Thanks for joining us on The Rundown. We're on a mission to bring back trustworthy journalism by serving only you, not an agenda. Be sure to check out more of our work at straightarrownews.com. And you can also find the latest Rundown episodes available as a podcast on all major podcast platforms. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Until then, I'm Kara Rucker. Have a great day.